Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Repo, Rethink Politics. We're here for our political session and we have our co-host, E. What's going on in the DC DMV area?
Yo.
What's good, D?
What's going on?
So what's going on in the area?
We're just hearing about these shootings going on, and then Trump's just talking, tweeting, making all this noise, but another day, another Wednesday.
Another day, just another Wednesday.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And our co-host, Chaz Jenkins. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much. We're just I guess we're in the South, so when something racist happens, it's like, all right, there's less shock.
Yes, let's talk. We're just gonna yep, another Wednesday evening. And it's not even the day. It's a part of the day. Oh, it's another Wednesday evening in the South.
This is it's like we don't have Puerto Rico. Okay.
Yeah. You just I thought that was in Florida.
It's like, wow.
We thought Puerto Rico was a part of New York, one of those. So anyway, what we wanted to talk about is, and when I wanted to start it off with, is global political disrespect. It's because in the eyes of the world, you can kind of see that now, that they're questioning the American sanity of having Donald Trump as our leader. And it went back for a couple of weeks, and it seemed like months ago, but it was only a couple of weeks. He was at the UN making threats against a sovereign nation. And then we find that he puts a ban on, and follow me with this, it's just fucking crazy. He puts a ban on Iran, Venezuela, and one other nation. And then just recently, I'm not sure if you heard about this, just recently, he banned some of the Cuban representatives out of the United States because of this so-called attack that happened at one of the hotels. So all of a sudden, we're distancing ourselves from Cuba because of some alleged attack that happened at one of the hotels. So, who want to help me out with that?
I was gonna say, I want to stop you earlier, because when you said Donald Trump and leader in the same sentence, I just was like,
You threw up in your mouth, right?
well, I didn't throw up, but when you think leader, you automatically think follower or visionary. So, Elon Musk,
Yes.
You think someone who leads. The Air Force guy, the Lieutenant Jay Silvera, I may be mispronouncing it, but the dude who was like, we can't treat people with dignity, get out. Just very
Get the hell out.
Yeah, just get. I was
But
like,
quote the story, though. Quote the story, because everybody don't read. So quote the story, because I thought it was amazing. I actually listened to the whole speech.
Yeah, me too.
Because I thought it was really
I
fascinating.
did too. So the Air Force Academy, apparently 5 black cadets they had, and they left someone left some racist language, we'll say, like in the bathroom,
Yeah.
I believe. And this, of course, is not too long after Charlottesville and the whole white supremacist march was going on in the NFL. Trump calling people SOBs. So given the political background and the tension, he's like, I'm not. The general is like, I'm not gonna let this go. This is not gonna get out of control. It's not gonna bubble up. He makes a speech the same day or the next day, and he's like, look, if you can't do this behavior, get out. If you can't treat people with respect, get out. I was like, look at that stuff. And the comments. Usually YouTube comments are just like disgusting, but in this case, people are actually like, this. He makes me proud to be an American. He makes me hopeful. This guy needs to run for president. Yes, what a leader looks like. So it was a really, it was like, the silver lining of it was we got this really good moment, showing military leadership, which low key, if you listen to General Mattis and other military leaders, they basically say the opposite of what Trump says. So when you said leader and Trump in the same, that implies people are following, or people have confidence.
But people are following, and you don't.
Who?
So you have a whole cabinet of people that are still there and actually speaking to him.
It's one thing. No. It's one thing, in my opinion, to say I want to have influence, so I'm gonna deal with this nonsense. Versus, I think it's less about following and more so people trying to get in where they fit in, and there's a lot of egos and things involved. But I don't know if people see him as a legitimate leader.
So there's a difference between a legitimate leader and leader. So he's not a legitimate leader, but people are following him. They have a gang of people who, and it's disgusted me because I was listening to 60 Minutes the other week, and they had a whole group of people, one on one side and one on the other, and this one lady was like, just give him a chance. He's not being successful because we're not giving him a chance. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And it just baffles me that people will see every single thing that he does, say anything that he likes, tweets out things in disrespectful manner, but we supposed to give him a chance. What, give him a chance to continue to destroy our country? So that's kind of odd. Yeah. So when you saw that, what did you get? Because one of the things that kind of stood out too, he said, take out your goddamn cell phones. He said, take out your cell phones. Yeah, take this right now.
I don't care if you have it or not. I want you to I want evidence. I want you to hear this, play this to everyone else. I want you to hear me. And then what I like the most is how he said, look, I think it was like 150 or whatever he gave the number. Like, we have 40,000 people in this academy. We have all this leadership right here on the stage, around over here by the windows. He was like, forget what they're saying out there, because we have better ideas, and we have people here that have better ideas. You see them? And then that's when he was like, take out your video camera, and I want you to know that we're here because we have a better idea, and I don't want this in our academy because we're better than that, and so on and so on. And it was just like, that's leadership. That's not exactly what Trump brings. Trump doesn't bring that kind of adamant, or that strength that follow behind me, like, because I'm a positive leader kind of thing. Like, we're better than the negative. It's instead he brings the negative, that fear. It's totally different.
Here's the analogy that I'm thinking of. Like, let's say I own a pawn shop, right? For me, if I own a pawn shop, Trump is a crack dealer who's going to create a bunch of crackheads who's going to steal stuff. Now I have a profitable pawn shop. You know what I mean? So he's like that opportunity. So in other words, if I'm wealthy, he's like, okay, this guy may raise taxes on the middle class and lower taxes for business and wealthy people. Okay, this might be an opportunity, you know. So he's like that, like the gateway guy. So I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna say what I need to, but I'm obviously not, like Rex Tillerson. He's on.
So Rex is pissed off.
Yeah,
but he can't be visibly pissed off. So is Sessions. Sessions got called out by Trump so many goddamn times. He was like, look, he told somebody, I'm resigning. That's why Trump said, if he want to resign, I'll accept his resignation. And he was like, somebody even leaked that shit. So these people are so uncomfortable because some of them are politicians. And they know how it's done. Rex Tillerson wants to make money. He's here to make money. So he wants to be in that position to set himself up. But now Trump is fucking that up for him. And he's kind of like, look, I got to leave a legacy somehow. So when I get out of this position, I can get paid. And this guy is fucking it up for me.
I think he leaked that. You heard the story about how there was a direct connection between the U.S. and North Korea that came out. And I think he leaked that or his people leaked that so that it was known that he's doing his part. Like, like he's the one that's going in and actually trying
Doing
some kind of diplomatic approach.
I'm saying, so who's doing that for who? For like, so we look back in
So
history.
when shit goes down, they look back and they say, well, at least he tried. Yeah.
Cover your ass.
Yeah.
In other
pretty
words?
much. Yeah. I mean, that's really the way you should be doing. That's the way they've tried to do it in the past. Try to do it in a diplomatic manner where you can sit down or at least have a phone conversation and try to calm this shit down that's going on in North Korea. Hey, look, we'll give you this, or hey, how about you get rid of that and we'll do this, or something like that. You just kind of work with China or something like this.
Right.
Instead, we have Trump that's going outside of the box, which isn't a good thing, or at least publicly going outside the box. And he's talking on Twitter. He's talking at the UN. I mean, when you go out and you say, we're going to destroy, or we can destroy North Korea, and then they come back, North Korea comes back and says, that's war talk. Like, that's a threat.
Yep.
Like, we're going to shoot down your planes when you're coming.
We're going to shoot your damn planes down.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's. I mean, around the world, internationally, everybody's like, well, yeah, that's exactly what I would think too. I'd be afraid too if you're United States, one of the powerful militaries in the country, and you're talking about you're going to destroy me. Like he lost all. In my opinion, he felt like he lost a lot of leverage when he said that. We already know you had the leverage, so he just kind of lost it there.
So it was leaked out as well that North Korea was going to Congress and other people saying, what the fuck are y'all talking to us for when you got your president saying this? I'm confused. Do y'all want to negotiate something, or are y'all following his lead? And that was leaked out because obviously after he said that, they was like, we don't mean that. Don't listen to him. They was like, how can we? He told the world that he will destroy us.
He's talking all types of shit. Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, it's the roles were reversed, and this was Obama era, and Kim Jong-un is talking shit, but he has a diplomatic, the equivalent of a Secretary of State, talking on the back channels. I think for us, we say, wow, who do you believe in the diplomacy efforts? Or do you say that crazy person might actually do something?
Fucking person, yeah. So that's what made. So I'm still concerned of, if I happen to go somewhere in the world, people look at us like you're freaking crazy. Why did y'all do this?
Do you think?
But I think it's getting to that point because if you see what happened in Spain, and I forgot the name of the city. But there's a portion of Spain that wants to become their own country.
Catalonia?
Catalina.
So that's what they do.
Yeah.
They was like, fuck you. I know you the government, but hell no. We're going to do what the hell we want to do because this is our right. So the world kind of expects us to be doing the same thing and protest and really going up against the government like they do. But they never see that. And when they don't see that, they look at us like there's something wrong with y'all. Why don't y'all stand up for your own country?
Okay, so without like the mass protest, it's kind of like, okay, well, is the United States co-signing it? And to be fair, I actually had this thought the other day, and this was discussed back in January, February, of how much it's exhausting just to be angry all the time. So in terms of the counter protest and marching against Trump and everything, like I haven't been to a protest in a couple months, on my end, just personally. So there's definitely something there in terms of the political burnout, to where you just go like, wow, how much do I like?
The protest is actually supposed to. See, the government should be responding, or at least politicians should be responding to that whenever protests are happening. So I understand why internationally, countries are looking at the U.S. like, hey, why do you have this guy, Trump, talking like this? And then at the same time, you have to remember they're also looking at these Republicans that are also sounding kind of similar to Trump too, saying certain things. I'm talking about the other, red state leaders, these other Republicans in the House or in the Senate. So you can't really argue. It kind of looks like this Trump's in his minions around, like, taking over the U.S. And that's kind of what's going on. So we protest, and then we have that huge protest the day after inauguration, and then everybody's confused, like, wait a minute, what's going on? But then, like, nothing happens. Nobody in the government does anything about it. We have let's just talk about the recent shooting or the hurricanes, and then we want FEMA and we want gun control. Nobody responds to a lot of this stuff, and that's what everyone's seeing. The government isn't responding. Therefore, this is Trump's America, and I can't blame them. So the thing is, like, let's go back to what you was just saying about who's running. You know what I mean? The people's running, like in Alabama. So the guy who won is like a crazy ass. He put a statue. Here we go with these statue shits of the 10 Commandments in front of the courthouse. Then he's on stage doing one of his rallies with a big cowboy hat on and a gun. And that's the guy that won. You know what I mean? So the one that Trump wanted to win didn't win, but the crazy son of a bitch is the one that won. You can't make this up.
You can't make this shit up.
This could be a TV movie, and you would be laughing at this shit, but you'll cry when it's done. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah,
Yosemite
Daffy Duck
Sam
versus Yosemite Sam.
I'm gonna talk like a northerner up here. To me, it's kind of like it's Alabama. So it's just
we do say that,
it's like it's just we're just expecting it to be that way. I'm not even surprised.
What would you expect? You know what I mean?
Well, I guess me being in the South and being kind of closer to it, I will say there's levels to it, and so Deep South is the deepest is Mississippi, right?
Okay,
that's high.
I don't know the
Mississippi
difference.
burning,
To
right?
let you know.
Then there's
I don't know the difference.
Like,
I don't know what's worse. It kind of mixes in Mississippi and Alabama.
I guess like
okay,
like deepest,
so,
like deep.
So you
like,
got Don't Go Out at Night, Mississippi, where in Alabama they at least warn you.
Oh,
yeah, and then Texas is kind of like on one hand you have Houston and Austin, and on the other hand you got the rest of Texas.
Okay.
So that's those levels out there. But I don't even like when I went to Alabama for a funeral and for a wedding. I always said I got to get the fuck out of here before it gets really late, because the people who live there say, "Oh, you're going straight down 20. Good. Don't go this way." They even telling me, "Don't go this." I was like, "Why not?" "Oh, if they pull you off the road." Wait a minute. What do you mean pull me off the road? If they pull you off the road, that's not a good highway. I know it's kind of shorter. I was like, what the fuck? And this was like maybe 6 years ago. It hasn't changed, bro.
And then, that goes into, if I have to still deal with that, if I still have to deal with not being equal, should I stand for the flag? And does me kneeling for a flag, why does that automatically mean disrespect or disrespect to the military? Why can't it be seen as
great segue
equal rights
to that?
protest?
So Trump was in Alabama.
that's right.
Are you serious? That's when he made that comment?
On stage saying, you know what? One of these owners, and he went straight to the owners. He didn't go through the general public or anything else, because that's who he associates himself to, the rich and the affluent, and said, you know what? I would say, get that son of a bitch off the stage. Off that field, and he's fired. When you want that? When y'all want to do that? And so the NFL, sadly, to the point was like, no, we're going to go against exactly what he said. But what it did, which bothered me the most, was they did it in protest to the president, not protest of black people being killed, which was the reason for it. It had nothing to do with the flag. It had nothing to do with police in general. It was the inequity of blacks being killed and jailed for no fucking reason. But now they're protesting basically against him.
It's weak. It's unity.
It changed the narrative.
They brought up unity. They're like, let's lock on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kumbaya.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not even the point of the whole protest. That's not. Yeah, he. And then but Roger Goodell came out with a statement though, which was kind of like it almost felt like he didn't want to attack the president, but then just said they stand by the players, and I forget what he was saying, but it was weak. It wasn't even, he was trying not to hurt anybody's feelings. Yeah, right.
It's Roger Goodell though.
But I mean, all these other owners came out. I mean, I think it was the Seattle had a statement, the Miami owner had a statement, the Jacksonville owner had a statement, and then stood out with locked arms in London, which is, I guess, okay. But you know, I mean, we can go further about all the way down to what's his name, Jerry Jones. Then he went down on a knee though, but he did it before.
So at first, did you hear that?
Yeah. And then they didn't do nothing the next game.
Hold on.
So for me,
I actually feel like I feel like we have to come to some kind of middle ground. I know a protest. I know we need to put our foot down and we need to get this message across, and everybody needs to hear what we're trying to say as black people. But I feel like Jerry Jones actually kind of hears it, but his only argument is, look, I'm trying to get this money. Let's not do it during the anthem. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm sorry. Let me step back. I don't know if he said that, but I'm
Is that what he said implicitly?
I mean, he's a billionaire.
Like between
I don't.
the lines,
No, I'm not saying he said
lines.
that. I don't even know if he said that. I'm just saying he did it before the anthem. He didn't kneel during the anthem. He did it before it with his whole team, though. And obviously, it was choreographed.
Okay.
Right.
So he knelt with the team, and I'm taking it as in support of the protest. You know, I'm taking it as that because obviously he's paying attention and he's doing what the players are asking him to do. So therefore, he did it. So I'm pretty sure he's not doing it to gain money. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going on a knee because he's like, oh, this is going to give me some money. I feel like he was like, you know what? This is what my team wants. In order for me to move on, this is what I have to do. And that's the way I saw it with him. And I wanted to be like, what's this motherfucker gonna do? But then he actually did that, and I was kind of like, I can't even argue that. Like, okay, you know, I don't know.
So let me.
All right, help me out.
On why he did it. Let me help you out. So what was going across the internet was Jerry Jones told his players, "Is any of you son of a bitches do that, I will fire you, and you will never get up on this field." So that was all over the internet. And in order for him to say, let me take that away from anybody who thought that I did that, I'm going to have to show a symbol of that's not who I am. So he didn't do it because, you know what, this is the right thing and I'm going to stand by. He did it to say, I never said that shit, even though I probably would. But now that you put me out there in that way,
that changes
I gotta
everything.
show.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Something.
Okay, that changes everything.
It was on Facebook. It was on a lot of tweets that I heard. So I kept trying to find out where it really came from. And it was usually one of these vague sites. So I was like, he didn't say that shit. And then I find out on Sunday he knelt with them. I was like, yeah, I knew he didn't say that shit. There's no way that would get out in that way. But this is what Goodell said. He said, divisive comments like these demonstrate an unfortunate lack of respect for the NFL, our great game, and all of our players. He didn't say shit about the divisive comments are disrespectful for what they're actually kneeling for, which is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He went straight to you disrespecting the team,
shield.
the game,
What did they say,
and our players. That's it.
Come on.
The shield. Thank you. Yep. Put that all in the shield, and that was it.
Like, you know, I like my analogies, and it's just kind of like if I'm watching Django, right?
Like
Django Unchained with Jamie Foxx. In the slave, and the slaves are like, we need freedom. And then one of the other slave owners like, man, your slaves look terrible. And instead of trying to free the slaves, they're like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna kneel.
Better clothes. Goddamn.
Yeah. It's just, I just thought, this is just so weird, man. Like, dude, like, why is Trump? What about Puerto Rico?
So
everything else.
So we'll finish off this
and return to episode 2 of Repo Rethink Politics with our Puerto Rico segment and gerrymandering. See you soon.